I bet if you run this through ChatGPT, do you think my government's lying to me? Short answer, maybe. The FBI claims they have text messages that Tyler Robinson, the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk, of him talking to his roommate, who is also his trans partner. You can't make this stuff up because they did. They released these text messages, and I don't know if you saw them, but they are not real, okay? No human being looks at this text conversation and is like, yeah, 2 people had this. Tyler and his roommate are Gen Z, okay? Gen Z does not talk in complete sentences. That is your first red flag. Now, I'm just gonna read them to you right now so we can have some laughs. Let me go to CNN for accuracy. Here's the full record of a series of text messages exchanged with the alleged gunman on the day of the shooting, which the roommate provided to the investigators. So the roommate was like, here, you can have these very private tweets. Robinson says, drop what you are doing. Yeah, like those full words. Drop what you are doing, comma. Gen Z does not use commas, okay? Everybody knows this. They have not discovered punctuation yet, all right? They can shorten words. They can't make short words longer, you know? Robinson says, drop what you're doing, comma, look under my keyboard, period. Gen Z does not use periods, okay? They say period when they finish a sentence. And then there's some exposition here. It says, when the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly read, I like how they say allegedly, like you're the one telling us this. Like, allegedly read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Period. Again. Well, these periods, man. What's that? Charlie Kirk is capitalized. And I is capitalized. Roommate, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. This is where the FBI was like, yeah, this is how they talk. What? You're joking, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark. You know they had a conversation like, is 4 too many? You think they'll know? They literally put 8 question marks after what? Robinson replies, I am still okay, my love. Bro just time warped to the 1800s. I am still okay, my love. But I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Okay. They wrote this really fast. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, comma, but I gotta grab my rifle still. Period. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. Come on, dude. This is not a novel. And Gen Z, talk to any Gen Zer. They don't think they're gonna die of old age. They think they're gonna die tomorrow, okay? And to be honest, after incidents like this, why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? He says, I'm sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. You can tell like the subtle transphobia here, you know? They're like, yeah, trans people love to use multiple question marks. Subtle prejudice, for sure. Robinson replies, I am. I'm sorry. No period this time, okay? Roommate, I thought they caught the person? Question mark, just one question mark this time. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude. Which is true, they did. That happened, but you can tell here the FBI is trying to cover their trails and explain why they focused on that clearly not shooter guy for so long. And then in this, it's because, oh, well, he was crazy and he was old. So messed up. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. Again, explaining why they stopped someone else. The FBI's like, well, we had to. There was the crazy guy and the guy in similar clothing. Got to cover our bases. Tell him, Tyler. I had planned. Come on, dude. You just put I planned. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point. Okay, at this point you're like, okay, this is AI. This is AI. They put this into ChatGPT. And they said, ChatGPT, if you were a Gen Z kid who just shot someone, how would you explain to your roommate/trans lover that you need to get your rifle that you left at your drop point? I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. They're really paying. I'm getting into this at this point. I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat. Roommate, why? One question mark. Robinson, why did I do it? Question mark. Oh, come on. Come on. You're going to release this much over a text message with someone who's clearly going to turn you in a few hours? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Now, this is where the deep state is clearly reigning their evil, because they want us to push this narrative that this was a guy who couldn't solve things diplomatically, kind of like the US government, and had to resort to violence, right? Which is the talking point that's going on right now. They literally put it into his mouth. Some hate can't be negotiated out. Is this the Wild Wild West? Well, it is Utah. To be honest, people might talk like this in Utah. Just for record, I could be wrong. Robinson, if I'm able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Come on. I will have left no evidence? Bro, why don't you just share your location at this point? Giving away everything. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully, they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Yeah, turn on the news, buddy. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Question mark. You feel like at this point you'd be like, I'm glad you asked this question. But he says, a bit over a week, I believe. I believe? I like how they keep it vague. He's like, I believe. So if we have to change the statement later, like, he said he believed it, but it was longer. He said, I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. That's like the most Gen Z thing yet. I don't want to chance it, and that's not even that good. Robinson, I wish I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. What the dude? No Gen Z, no human calls it a vehicle, okay? Except for a cop. Only a cop. This was so written by a cop. Get out of your vehicle. My vehicle. I'm driving my vehicle. No. If you're Gen Z, you say my whip. That's what you say. Nobody says vehicle. He said, I grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I don't bring back Grandpa's rifle. Come on, dude. This is an old yeller. What is going on here? Then he says, IDK, I don't know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. So trying to be like, oh, okay, so, there's other possible explanations here. Keep it vague. I worry about prints. Why is he saying this all over text? If he's worried about prints of his fingers, why is he not worried about prints of his literal words? I'm worried about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Great, paint the picture more. Tell us which bush it was, Tyler. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with, ... I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the expletive will I explain losing it to my old man? This is Utah, so he probably said, how the heck? How the heck will I explain? They had to bleep it out because it's from Utah. How the heck? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. And then he says, unprovoked, remember how I was engraving bullets? Remember the thing that the FBI said I did? Remember how it all aligns with that? Remember that?